What up YouTube? This video is taken on this Saturday afternoon, April 16th, 2022. Time right now is 5:26 p.m. And I decided I'm going to do Easter dinner tonight because I'm usually too busy on Sundays to do it. So I thought I would make a video of it. Since I haven't made a video in a while, I thought it would be interesting since I'm going to be using a device that can cause serious injury and or property damage. So I'm going to try to pressure cook this ham. Oh no, I'm not supposed to say pressure cook. I'm supposed to cook this ham in the Ninja Foodie because pressure cookers are bad, so they had to rebrand them into cool names like Instapot and Ninja Foodie. And if you want to learn how to cook a ham in a pressure cooker, this is not your video. I don't even know why I'm filming this because I really don't know what I'm doing. But I thought it would be interesting. And like I said, I haven't really made a video too often. I'm kind of going rogue on the recipe. I'm going to be using like a mishmash of different recipes. And I have cooked a ham in one of these pressure cookers before, but it was spiral bound. And on sale at Winn-Dixie for 99 cents a pound, I got this, let's see, what is it? 8.5 pound ham for $8.47. So spiral bound was $1 more a pound, and I literally just decided to be cheap and get a non-spiral bound ham. But when I was telling my neighbor about this, my neighbor always keeps me informed of the good food deals that the supermarkets have. When I told her that, and she's a really good cook, when I told her that I didn't buy a spiral bound, I bought a regular bound, she said that's all she buys, she never buys spiral bounds. I guess spiral cut hams are like the Cadillac of pork. And the peasants eat these ham hocks. That's what my dad called it. I'm going to have to Google search that. My dad said, "Oh, did you buy a ham hock?" And I was like, I don't know, I just bought a ham. So anyway, I'm going to do this a little differently than last time in the pressure cooker. It got a little overcooked, and like I said, it was spiral cut last time. But I'm following several different recipes, and I'm kind of going rogue. Okay, last time I didn't really glaze it when I did it in the pressure cooker because I was like, well, it's in a pressure cooker. Why do I need to glaze it? But I am going to glaze it this time. And, oh, I'm kind of mirrored here. There we go. So, I'm going to use a cross between this ham glaze. These are cherry ham glaze. And raw, unfiltered orange blossom honey. Locally grown. Make sure you look these guys up. If you want raw honey from Florida, wildhoneybeefarm.com or facebook.com/wildhoneybeefarm, which is a bee. And probably the only good thing to come from Umatilla, Florida. But these two guys are really cool dudes. And yeah, so if you want honey, buy from them. So I'm going to do a mishmash of honey and cherry glaze. So a little backstory about this cherry glaze. My grandparents' friend found this cherry glaze, and they made it seem like it was really hard to get. And so they ordered they thought it was really good, and they ordered like a whole case of it, and they gave my mom some. And my mom made a ham with it, and it turned out good. It tastes good. And then, sorry, a little taste test. That's some sweet honey. So it was good, and then somehow I got one too at one point, and I made a ham with it conventionally in the oven. And that should be plenty. And But then I thought this stuff was hard to get, but regular Publix has it. And I've got it at Publix before. But the kicker of the story, the reason I'm explaining this is because one thing I thought was funny is we found out recently that my grandfather actually isn't a fan of the cherry glaze, even though my mom likes it as well. And when I went to look this week, when I went to look to get some, they had it on clearance for $1.25 a can. So I don't know if they're getting rid of it or it's going to become hard to find. So I bought three. I bought three bottles of it. But yeah, I'm going to use this as the glaze. Okay, this might be comical because I'm coming to the realization that this ham might not even fit in the pressure cooker. It barely fits. Okay, so I want to put this glaze all over the ham. And then got some pineapple slices and juice. Dump the pineapple juice in there. Now this pressure cooking recipe I'm following to get the times, it says to put Coca-Cola in there and apple juice. Okay, cool. I have toothpicks, so I guess you're supposed to use Coke, but I'm using pineapple juice to help tenderize the meat or something like that. Oh. Oh yeah, I'm supposed to have a little bit of brown sugar too. I don't even know if I have brown sugar. Might have to go without. One more ham slice. Pineapple slice. And then the last one is for me to eat now. I guess that's enough fluid. I did buy pineapple juice. But I might not open it now. Oh yeah, I gotta Instagram this, because if you didn't put it on Instagram, did it actually happen? I'm trying to think if that's enough fluid. Okay, I'm gonna add a little bit of pineapple juice in there, mostly because I'm gonna open this up because I had a little bit of taste of pineapple and all of a sudden I'm in the mood for pineapple. Nope. And that should be enough. I'll pour me a glass of that in a minute. So then, will it fit? I think that part I gotta spin the ham. Oh, there we go. Okay, put it to seal. Okay, turn it on. Pressure, high. The recipe I found online says for 50 minutes. It's on seal. And I'm going to go and use my stopwatch because whenever you use these pressure cookers, I mean, Ninja Foodie, it always is deceiving. Your times are deceiving. So it calls for 50 minutes, But I bet you this is going to take close to 20 to 30 minutes just to get up the pressure. So we're going to start them all at the same time. And now we wait. Okay, we are 18 minutes and 25 seconds. It just sealed. And it hasn't started the countdown yet. So I might lose this. I guess I had to look back on the video. I think I guessed 20 minutes. And I might lose that, that according to Price is Right rules. So it has to go over 20 minutes. Because I got a bit under. But yeah, that's the only thing that's really deceptive about this whole thing. But while we wait for it to cook, let me take you around and just give you a little general update. Oh yeah, everyone always asks me about the Duke, and here he is. He's just chilling in my dining room, like I tell people. I don't know what I'm going to do. I decided I'm not going to set up a stage in my house. I think that's a little ridiculous. But I need to figure out how to build a base to make them stable and to hold the valves. Maybe put a little soundproof box over the valves or something that won't be heavy and would still be easy to move. So I need to figure out like what kind of unobtainium material I need to use to do that. But for now, he's just chilling right here. Okay, the shop needs to get cleaned out. It's getting kind of ridiculous. But everyone's always asking me about Pizza Cam. Next step in Pizza Cam, I have a new old stock Tolematic that fellow enthusiast sold me at a really good deal. Because if you remember, I said I wasn't going to dump any money to put a lift actuator in them, but I got a super deal on this. So that'll be the next video once it comes down the pipeline. Is to these things are tricky because even though this is new old stock, I can if I run it, it'll just rip the seal right out if it's dry. So I got to figure out how I'm going to lube it up and then move it before I run it so I don't rip the seal. My current project and what I've been working on in my spare time, which has kind of been a little bit of a fiasco, but I'm going to make a dedicated video about it in hindsight, is build up my squad of 5-inch quads. I want to have 3 identical 5-inch quad builds. So I already have one built up that I'm flying now, and then this is the second one, and then I'll build up the third one. But I'm building up one at a time. Had to go back and modify some stuff. Like for example, I was having a really bad DJI video signal, and it had to do with the fact that probably because for some reason on the quad I'm flying, it has low resistance to battery ground on the chassis, which is not good. But I don't know exactly where that's coming from. But anyway, I read online that you got to isolate the DJI camera. So I have ABS spacers in the DJI camera, and then I had to go back and put in plastic screws to mount the camera. Although I noticed like the other day, Mr. Steele posted his quad that he's flying at Mount Everest. I noticed that it looked like he was using metal screws in the DJI camera because they were silver. So I don't know, I guess it's the problem I'm having. So this is what I've been working on, and when I'm done, I'm going to do a video about why I chose this as my current 5-inch freestyle build. Another project down the pipeline is this. I bought a CNC machine. It's a 40 by 30, so 40 centimeters by 30 centimeters working area, and that's the name of it. What egged this on was the whole frame fiasco. For my drones, I thought, okay, I'll just start making my own carbon fiber frames. But I always wanted a CNC machine because I saw all the cool stuff you can do with them, mainly because I watch a lot of Ben Heck. And I was afraid that inflation was going to get so insane since all these things are made overseas and shipping them over here. So I had the money, so I figured I'd go ahead and buy one. So I'm not going to do, since this is something that I'll be like discovering as I go, I'm not going to do like a full in-depth video, but I'm going to try to up my video production, so I'll probably do a video talking about the process of getting this up and running and doing CNC stuff. Although I've been watching a lot of content about CNC machines, there is a big learning curve, definitely a lot bigger than 3D printing, to know the ins and outs on how to operate this. Oh yeah, and since there's a chance that my parents will watch this, look, I didn't kill the flowers yet. Oh, but I do have bad news. This was a soursop tree that my Jamaican friend smuggled in from Jamaica. And he gave it to me. It was about a foot tall. I planted it. For 2 years, during the winters, I covered it up with a pillowcase or even a sheet and wrapped it in incandescent Christmas lights to keep it alive during the winters. And then this winter, we started out with a mild winter, and then I went on a weekend to West Virginia, and it just so happened that that weekend it actually got below freezing here, and I wasn't prepared for it. It wasn't wrapped up, and I think it pretty much killed it. I'm gonna let it be to see if somehow it just, some miracle of hope it comes back, but I have a feeling it's gone. Again, this is the second year that my bird of paradise bloomed. When I bought my house, I bought this to plant it to, you know, I wanted to plant something of my own when I bought the house, and it took several years for it to bloom, probably 3 or 4, but like I said, this is the second year. Last year when the crickets are grasshoppers, and they're coming out soon. When they came out, they tore up the flowers on this thing, but yeah, they look really pretty right now. And I guess I'll showcase this off while I'm doing a flower tour. This was here when I bought the house, and the previous owners told me that you'll never find another one like it with 2 different colors. But I haven't killed it yet. I trimmed it back quite a bit, and it still keeps on growing. I never did a video about my 3D printer that I'm currently using. And it was at CR10 V2, but now it's pretty much a V3. When I bought it, there wasn't any V3s. You had to buy the direct drive extruder separately and the BL Touch separately. So I pretty much made it a V3. And then I built this enclosure because I was printing in a lot in ABS, and the enclosure works a lot. It actually works a little too well. If you're not printing in ABS, you had to have the doors open because it'll, especially with TPU, it'll melt the TPU before it gets to the extruder. But yeah, when I'm building up these 5-inch freestyle quads, I'm printing a lot. I print in ABS and TPU, and I was printing a lot in TPU. Like you see, this is what I'm building for the printing for the quad that I have. Printing a lot in TPU, and then I went to print the GoPro mount, and it kept on failing. The print kept on failing. The one bad part about this direct drive setup on the CR10 V3 is that it does still have a Bowden tube. It still has a short Bowden tube in it. So I thought that was clogged up. But I needed to, at the time, I needed to print some ABS stuff to keep the build going. So I switched from TPU to ABS, and I was able to print fine. And I have my ABS settings perfect, pretty much. Let's see if I can get this to focus. Yeah, my ABS settings are really, I'm really pleased with the quality. But I'll tell you, ABS does a number to these 3D printers, and that's why, because it's such a high temperature, I think that Bowden tube in there is deformed or something. Even though it prints good in ABS, I wasn't getting good 2U prints. So a video that I'm probably going to be doing coming up is, it's been a while since I serviced this printer, so I'm going to take it out of the enclosure and I'm going to service it. So I figured I'd make a video of that. I'm going to tear apart the hot end, clean it out, see how much gunk is in there and if the Bowden tube is deformed. And then I'm going to try to tune my TBU settings to be a little better. My TBU settings are a little stringy. I mean, I get good prints, but it can get a little stringy, especially with supports. Oh, by the way, ABS, I have no problems with it lifting using this Aquanet. I can't imagine using this stuff in your hair because it's horrible stuff. But this Aquanet on this CR10 V2 bed is, I mean, you really have to, they really stick down. And actually they stick down so good that on one of my prints, as you can see, it kind of damaged the bed some. This like rubberized coating came up. Okay, as I was walking away and filming that kind of stuff, it built up pressure and it's counting down now. So we're 30 minutes into it, but we're only 10 minutes into the timer. Let's see, 30 minutes. So it took around 20 minutes for it to build pressure. So yeah, that's kind of the thing that's deceiving about these pressure cookers. Oh no, excuse me, this Ninja Foodie. Pressure cookers are bad. Okay, I need to have sides, and my friend Leanne recommended sweet potatoes, although I'm not a fan of sweet potatoes, but I guess I do live in the South now, so I gotta accept the fact that sweet potatoes are a side. So she told me to put the oven on 350, coat them in a little olive oil. Oh, wash them. I did do that. Coat them in a little olive oil and cook them for 40 minutes. So actually I kind of messed up there. Well, no, we have 33 minutes left on the pressure cooker plus a 10-minute natural release the recipe calls for. So actually it'll probably work out fine. So yeah, let me put these in the oven. And I guess while I'm in the kitchen, I should light a candle. Warm fall leaves. So a little out of season, so I probably should use this candle up. Okay, for another side, I really wanted to, I was in the mood for some collard greens. So Leanne sent me this recipe that called for, it took 4 hours to make collard greens.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
So I went ahead and I bought canned collard greens from the store, but I have a trick up my sleeve to try to redeem myself. Okay, so it's done. Oh, I guess when it's done, it after 10 minutes it turns off. So I just happened to catch that on camera. But yeah, it's done, and I let it naturally vent for 10 minutes. So let's see if I can do this without getting scorn or. Look at that. Okay, let's see if I can do this without having a major catastrophe. Oh, there we go. So I'll admit the bottom layer looks a little overdone, which is kind of like how the spiral ham was, but in my experience it was still good with the spiral ham, so we'll see how it goes. But first things first, I'm gonna use this juice. Okay, now I'm gonna redeem myself. I drained the juice out of the canned collard greens, and I'm gonna use this juice. Wow, that looks good. You see, so when I did the spiral in the ham in the pressure cooker last time, all the pieces look burnt like this, but it's only the outside on. Oh wow, man, it's like it's almost like pulled pork. Okay, I'm gonna stop for right now because I'm hungry. I'm gonna make a plate up. Dinner is served. So for time reference, it's 7:17 p.m. So that's how long it took me to make this meal. But I thought it would be an interesting video, and plus I kind of wanted to do like a general update and show what kind of projects I have coming down the pipeline. I'm going to try to upload videos more regular. I do like filming videos of things that I'm getting into, you know, whether people like it or not. You know, this channel has always been just, you know, whatever I'm getting into. So thanks for watching. Happy Easter, everyone. And if you don't celebrate Easter, I don't know what's wrong with you, but, you know, you must not realize that there's no way that we can pay for our sins. So that's why Jesus had to come and be the, you know, the Bible says that he was a lamb slain from the foundation of the world. And the resurrection of Christ is such great news. That's why we're going to celebrate it tomorrow. I'll have a link in the video description talking more about that. Thanks for watching. See ya.